Hello everyone, this is Candy, the 614 Stitcher, and today is Sunday, February the 5th, 2023, and this is my Flosstube number 69. I would like to say hello and welcome to all of my new subscribers. I hope that you will stick around and allow me to enable you with a project or two that I am working on. And for my returning friends and subscribers, thank you so very much for always coming back each and every time that I upload a video. I am a day late, but yesterday I went to Keepsakes, and when I got home, I was not feeling like doing a floss tube, so I decided to get up this morning and get one put up for you. I would first like to thank Carolyn Zook of C Zook Stitch. She had asked me to do a floss tube with her on her channel last week. If you have not seen that video, please go over and check out Carolyn's channel. I will have a link in the description box below. It was great fun. We are like two sisters from a different mother. It is a great friendship that I am very grateful for. She is very funny and always trying to enable me with a project that she is trying to do, mostly huge projects. She does, I joked with her one time and said that she should change her name to the Bed Sheet Stitcher because she stitches a lot of projects on one piece of fabric. And so I joked with her and said that we should rename her channel to the Bed Sheet Stitcher, because she always is like folding up and getting it just to the one that she's working on, but the fabric is huge always. So again, Carolyn, thank you so very much. I so enjoyed it, and hopefully we can do it again. I also participated in the Acorns and Threads Gathering of Nuts event. It was a Zoom retreat. They had in-person and Zoom retreaters, and it was a very nice retreat. It was a little loud, being on the Zoom, but it was a very good retreat, and I'm sure you have probably seen it by now, but I have been able to open my bag, and the first thing that I pulled out was a Bussi Keep. I do not have one of these, and so I was super excited to be able to have one for the first time. The secret designer was Lindy Stitches, and she created this chart called Snack Bar for Acorns and Threads Gathering of Nuts. And she had the inspiration from reading children's books, and they had bears in them and all of that. And so that is the chart. I have not decided whether this will be a giveaway or if I am actually going to stitch it. And it also came with all of the threads that we would need to stitch the chart. It was 2 DMCs for the brown, and Weeks Dye Works, and 1 Classic Color Works. And there was a piece of fabric and even a needle for it. And here's the fabric. It is beautiful. And the needle was in the corner. So I also received my name tag that I will be able to use anytime that I participate in an Acorns and Threads event. And so that was super exciting also. So again, it was a very nice retreat. If you have not had the opportunity to participate in a digital retreat, I would recommend it. However, I will also let you know that it can get very loud if there are in-person participants also. So it was a very nice retreat. We got to talk with Stephanie Webb of Lindy Stitches. And again, she provided what the inspiration was, and it was a really nice afternoon. Pardon me. Nice afternoon, and just stitch and, you know, communicate and talk with other stitchers. It was really good, especially for someone who is alone 99% of the time. So it was a nice retreat. So I would like to provide you with some of my January stats for this past month. I have done all of the calculations and gotten all the information together. And so I worked on 16 projects in the month of January. I stitched a total of 5,835 stitches. That is probably the most I have ever stitched in one month. It was unbelievable. When I did all of the calculations, I was like, is that right? I mean, like, I added it up 2 or 3 times so that I could make sure that it was correct. I had a total of 4 finishes, which was great. The top 3 projects that received the most stitches were Progress Pride Flag, and it had 911 stitches. Home Sampler had 861 stitches, and Sunday Stitches had received a total of 860 stitches. So, you know, those 3 projects I worked on an awful lot. Progress Pride Flag, not that I worked on it a whole lot, but it was a lot of stitches that were put in on it because of the bands going across. So that is where I ended January, and I will be providing my stats each month as we go along. It really excited me to see how many stitches I had actually stitched for the month. And I know that January is an exceptional month because of WIPGO. So, you know, I probably will not have almost 6,000 stitches in the month of February, but you never know. I could get there. I did have a question on my last video, and it was from Miss Joanne. She is also a friend of mine, and she asked how I went about counting stitches. So I have 2 programs on my tablet. One of them is Pattern Keeper, and as you mark off your stitches, Pattern Keeper keeps a count of how many stitches you've put in for particular projects. It is a download. You have to purchase it and then put the pattern or chart into the Pattern Keeper. I have another, for lack of a better word, I was going to say operating system, but it's not that. It's another app, and it's called Markup RXP, and it also, once you put your pattern into the app and start marking them off, it will also calculate your stitches for you for the time that you spend working on the project. The third way that I count stitches is manually, the old-fashioned way. You know, you have a block of 10, so a 10 by 10 block is 100 stitches, and I don't have a problem with counting them that way. I probably count the bulk of the stitches that I do put in manually because I don't have a lot of my charts in the Pattern Keeper or Markup RXP. So I do a lot of hand counting and calculator on my phone. So it doesn't take me any more time. The one thing about doing it manually is that I normally go back in and recount at least twice to make sure that I have the same number of stitches. And I also use erasable markers on my chart so that I'll know which stitches I put in. And if I'm working on a chart for a couple of days, I will literally change colors. So if I worked on a chart today, I use one color. And if I go back and if I go and stitch on the chart again tomorrow, I will use a different color. So it has taken me a little bit of time to get used to it because I'm not used to counting. I was not used to counting stitches, but now that I have a pattern down, it goes really quickly. So for the month of February, I would like to show you some FFOs, or no, some FOs and a FFO that I have completed. So we're going to jump right into that. And the FFO that I have is I made love into a pillow. And if you will remember, this was one of my finishes for the last video that I recorded on my channel. And I made it into a pillow, and it has a backing, and I just made a insert pillow for it. So this is love, and I just used some Valentine-y fabric for the front of it. It will now sit behind me on the shelf. So that was my one FFO. No, you're not going outside. He's been asleep this whole time. He hears me talking, and then he gets up and decides he needs to run around and act like he has to go to the bathroom so bad. And so he's not going outside. Yeah, go lay down. Thank you. So I finished this probably in 2020, maybe even 2019. It may be a heart and hand. I think that is what it is. And so I need to get these fully finished, but it is love. And then I did the year of celebration by Hands on Design. And I know I finished this last year because I finished it for the Designer Focus, which was also in February. And I did make some changes on this. There's stitches inside the heart in the original, and I chose not to do those. So this is where I finished mine at. This is also a hands-on design. She designs a new chart for her anniversary and her husband every year. And so last year I stitched Love You. And I used a Leo and Roxy thread for it. And this is I believe it's a 16 count Ada. And it is probably from, it's Carnation. The name of the Ada is Carnation. And it is by Fortnite Fabrics. They don't make this any longer though. So I don't know how, because this is a bigger chart. I'm pretty sure she probably finished hers as a pillow, but I don't know that, you know, that I want a pillow this big, so I'm not sure just yet how I'm going to be able to finish that. This was a free chart off of the Fat Quarter Shop's website, and it was the Conversation Hearts. And it was a free, it is still on the website. It is a free pattern that you can download, and they had it in different colorways. I just chose to do the purple colorway. I did change the X's and O's into the word love on mine. And I did see a very cute way to finish this, so I'm going to try that. Here's another hands-on design chart, and it was You Hold My Heart, and I stitched this on 14 count chalkboard or black Aida, and I used the called for DMC flosses. And this was one that I also finished last year. This is the last one. I took a piece of a pattern out of a Just Cross Stitch magazine and made Love is Patient and Kind. This particular chart, I charted differently. It had Love is Patient, and then it had Is Kind. And I decided to put the ampersand in and make it and kind. This is stitched on a pink 16 count Aida. And I used probably a cherry cobbler or, it's not cherry cobbler, Cupid and a DMC for the words. But those are my FFOs for the month of February. And now I need to, or those are my FFOs for the month of February. I'll get it straight, you guys. And now I need to make them FFOs. So I'm actually going to be leaving them out and coming up with some ideas on how to get those finished so they can be fully finished so I can display them for the rest of the month. So now we are going to go ahead and jump right into the Flosstube portion of the show. Ha ha ha. I had 3 new starts so far this month. Gotta make sure my basket isn't gonna fall off. My first new start is C is for Coffee by Heartstring Samplery. And I started this because the Road Warriors, I needed a cup. And I had a whip that had a cup, but at the time they had made the decision that we couldn't use if it had flowers in it. And so I decided to start something else. Well, they've changed that now. But it was too late for me. I already had gotten the start. So I am stitching this on a 32 count linen that was in my stash, so I don't know what the name of it was. It did not have a name on it. And I am using the called for DMC colors. And that is where I am now. That is the top part of the C and the start of the berries. So I am up here. Yeah. The starting of the berries and then the rounding of the C for the coffee. I wasn't mad about having to do the new start because I've been wanting to get these started anyway, so it just made sense to go ahead on and get them started. So it was pretty good. I worked on that for 2 days. Nope, 1 day. And I put in 170 stitches on it. So I really need to get back to it because my new start goal is to put 200 stitches in order for it to be a new start. So I'll have to find some time to put in 30 more stitches somewhere. This month is a little packed. So that was C is for coffee. My next new start was for February's Magazine Monthly Challenge. And the theme is beach. And for the theme, I am working out of the Just Cross Stitch magazine, August 2020. And here is what the project will look like when it is finished. It is called Sand and Surf Needle Set. And right now I am working on this needle pin keep. And I am stitching this on a 28 count mystery fabric from my stash. And I am using the called for DMCs. And this is the start of the ocean. I have completed half down to the bottom. This is as far down as it will go. So it's actually 56 by 56. So I have the side, the top, the side, and the bottom exactly where it's going to end up being. I chose to use a tannish fabric so that it would more mimic what the beach looks like. And that is 2 DMC flosses so far. Surprisingly, it will have quite a few blues and and whites also as I'm stitching this. I have worked on this project now one day. No, I worked on it for 2 days. And it has, this is the other part of keeping track of your stitches. You have to make sure that you're writing them down. So far, I have in 294 stitches in this project. Now he's gonna cough and do all the stuff. He knows when I'm talking to y'all. That way he figures maybe he can get away with something different. But I'm here to tell him. Sorry, I am writing my stats down on my sheet so I'll know next time how many stitches I actually have in it. I know it's 294, so. That was my number 2 start. And my number 3 start, I started last night. And it is a freebie. However, I am going to hold the chart back. It is Love Mini Quaker by Wendy from the Heart Needleart. And I am stitching this on a gifted 14 count fabric flare cotton candy. And for this first motif, I used Cottage Garden Threads, Love and Kisses. And I absolutely love the variegation that this has in it. I mean, stitching on this last night, I was just like, I cannot believe how beautiful it turned out. And I chose not to fussy cut or anything. Wherever the thread landed, that's where I left it. So you'll see in parts of the heart, it's darker, lighter. It is just beautiful. So those are my 3 new starts for this month so far. I'm actually thinking that I will have at least 1 more new start because I want to do the freebie that Cherry Hill Stitchery put out. I put in on Love Mini Quaker 157 stitches. I do plan on pulling this back out again today so that I can put some more stitches in it, because I really enjoy using the Hugs and Kisses Cottage Garden threads. So now we're going to move on to my WIPs. I have made a conscious effort because of Year of WIPs and 25/7. The next project will be worked on for 25 minutes every day until it is finished. And that project is Faith and Endurance by Lori Holt. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where it is now. So I have completed the vine for both flowers. I started and worked on the outside of the flower and the inside of the flower. And in this particular flower, I just need to put in the yellow. And then there's 1 more flower, and I will actually have this completed. So hopefully by next Saturday, I can have a finish on it. And this will be the first of my Year of WIPs that will get finished. I really have enjoyed stitching on it. I'm not, again, not for sure how it's going to be finished. I just I like the sentiment of the faith and endurance. And so I didn't think about, of course, I was not stitching that border, but I'm not sure now how I'm going to actually finish it since I don't have the border on there. So I have an idea, but I don't know what it's going to look like. I have to, I'm going to audition the fabric around it and see how it comes out. So, but I truly have enjoyed stitching on it. So far, and I'm not sure, oh, I did. So far for the, I put in, that's 106, 86, 187 stitches since you've last saw this. So it'll be interesting to see if I can get through all of them, the rest of the other, finish 1 flower and get through the next flower. But again, this will be my 25/7 for at least the rest of this week. And then once it is completed, I'll choose another 25/7. The next WIP that I worked on is for the Magazine Monthly acrostic, and it is for the Elegant Lady. Oh, I forgot something. And it is my Bella Butterfly. And here's a picture of where she was when I last showed her. And here is where she is now. I do have a hanging thread. I am working still on her face and neck. And so all of the empty spaces that you see here will be beads that are, so right here is her nose. She has a nose ring, and then there are beads that go up along her face also. I am stitching this on a 28 count color in cotton in the color of Neptune. It matches the stitches that this was charted as a full coverage piece. However, the color of the background was close to Neptune, and so that is what I'm using. I'm using the called for DMC, and I will be using all of the called for beads. I have put in 202 stitches in this, which met the goal that I put for the magazine monthly, letter E for Elegant Lady. However, I will be continuing to stitch on her for this month. These are my representation Black History Month patterns that I'll be showing you next. Pardon me, some of them. And so I just wanted to keep working on these for as long as I can this month. So that's where I am with Bella Butterfly. I have not ever beaded before, and so I'm going to see about getting maybe a doodle cloth, or I have a couple of Mill Hill kits so that I can practice beading before I start beading her. Her headdress has a lot of beads in it, and I want to make sure that I know how to do it and can do it correctly before I start doing that. So my next chart that I worked on is Winter Quakers, and I still owe, so Winter Quakers is my snow day chart. So when it snows, I'm to work on Winter Quaker. Well, we've had 6 snows, and I've only worked on Winter Quaker twice. So I have 4 more days that I need to put into it. And here's what the model looks like. Mine's will not. I did not use the called for fabric or the called for fibers. It calls for Valdani fibers, and I did a complete color conversion to overdyes, and so that's why mine will be different. And here is a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where it is now. Basically, I have put in stitches on this motif. This is the end of the first section. No, I'm sorry. That's the end of the page. That's the end of section number 3 right here, which I believe is the end of the, it is. This is the end. This will be the very end of the piece. So I have, once I have it all in, that will be the end of the top page. And I put in all of the stitches around. I already had the motif in this part of it, so I put the stitches in around it, and I still have more stitches on the inside. Again, I've worked on this so far for 2 days. I still have 4 more days, and that's provided that it doesn't snow again anytime soon. Today is actually up in the 50s. Yesterday it was in the 20s. So the saying around here is if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, it will change. And it definitely, in the state of Ohio, it definitely can do that in a heartbeat. So my next whip that I would like to show you is not in my bag. Okay, well, let's go with the whip that's in the, oh, here it is. So I pulled this out for WIPGO. My number 7. My number 7 for WIPGO was a whip that was not touched in 2022. So I went through my whips and I found one, and it actually probably hasn't been touched since 2020. So it fit perfectly. And it is, I'm trying to make sure I don't show the chart. It is Peace Sampler. I started this with Carolyn Zook in 2020. She, the planner in her left her, and she decided that when she got this magazine that she loved it so much, she was going to start it and stitch it right then and there. And so I jumped on board and was like, okay, I'll do it too. I did take it to the beach with me that year. I went to the beach in December of 2020. Because that was like COVID. And so I pulled it out, and here is a picture of where it was when I last worked on it. And here is where I am now. So I have started putting in all of the backstitch greenery. It will match, the 2 sides will match. And then I came down and started putting in this border in between the 2 sayings. The saying on it is we shall find peace, we shall hear the angels, we shall see the sky sparkling with diamonds. And so that is what it will look like. This also has beads in it, so it has some round beads, and then it has some glass beads in the candles. So this will be the year that I learn beading. I'm imagining, since everything that I seem to be picking up right now, you have to put beads in it. And that is in the Just Cross Stitch magazine 2020 December. So it was originally designed, it was designed by Cathy Bussi. I am stitching this on a 14 count white Aida, and I am using the called for DMC flosses. And that is my number 7 WIPGO project. And this morning I put in 75 stitches. It not kills me. It really is something to do. You know, you have to count 2 stitches for back stitching. And so the bulk of what I did this morning was back stitching. So I put in 60 stitches for back stitching, but could only count 30 of them as my stitch. You know, you count for every 2, it's 1. So that's how that went. And then I have one more. I like I said, went to Keepsakes yesterday, and I took with me to work on Progress Pride flag, which was really a good take for me to take because all I needed to do was sit and fill in. And there were so many people there. It was like a big party. So it was really good that I just had something that I could put stitches in and not have to worry about counting. Megan, Georgia Girl Stitches, came in from Virginia, and we were all so busy living in the moment of being together that like we didn't even get pictures of all of us together or anything. So, but here is a picture of where it was when I last worked on it. And here is where I am now. So I have finished the yellow. I am moving my way right on up to the red and to a finish on this project. I literally put in all of the yellow stitches with the exception of probably 20 at Keepsakes yesterday. And so it was a good project to have with me. And even though it was just one color, I kept going, man, I should have brought another project. But I'm glad now in retrospect that I did not, because it gave me the ability to get this finished, get the yellow part finished. And now I can move on to the orange part. This project is being stitched on a 14 count Ada Witchelt, and it is Graceful Gray. And I'm using the called for DMC. Sorry, I got something in my eye just then. The called for DMC flosses, and the designer is MI Studio Creates. And I love it. It is on my year of WIPs. And so it might be my second finish for my year of WIPs behind Faith and Endurance. So that is where we are now with all of my WIPs. I did have 2 finishes this week, and I will be putting pictures in right here. The first finish that I had was Square Dance February, and the next finish that I had was Square Dance March. I used both of these projects to get my 700 stitches in for my WIPGO project number 6, because I only had 94 stitches for that project. As of right now, I have 15 more stitches to go, and I will have met the 700 stitch requirement for number 6. So for WIPGO number 6, the projects I've used so far is Square Dance February, Square Dance March, and Faith and Endurance. And I have 15 more stitches to go, and I will be complete with the 700 stitches for number 6 in January. And I am like super, super excited. So those were my 2 finishes for the week. I do have plans, and those plans include to work on Faith and Endurance the rest of this week for my 25/7. I will then on Monday, today I will be working one more day on my Winter Quaker. Monday I will be working on Freedom 1865, which for the acrostic is a African woman. And I have that project down as a finish for the goal for this month. On Wednesday, I will be working on Women of Honor Sampler, which is by the Rebel Stitcher Designs. And on Thursday, I will be working on Harriet Tubman. I have decided that I need to also incorporate my sewing. So those days that I didn't mention, I will be working on a couple of sewing projects that I have lined up. So now I am going to clear this up and come right back, and I will be giving you the haul / Stitchy Kindness and the giveaway winner for the anniversary bag and JBW Designs Christmas booklet. So yesterday when I went down to Keepsakes, I had something in mind that I needed to pick up. So as you recall from last week, I said that I wanted to start Maya Angelou by Salty Stitcher Designs. And the called for fabric is a 40 count fabric. And so I wanted to stitch it as much as possible. I'm saying that now, but on at least the called for fabric. So I didn't see what the called for fabric was in the chart. So Megan helped me pick out one. And it is a 36 count linen Mystic Fabrics. And the name is Pearl. And that is like not even doing it justice. It is a greenish gray color, and there it looks kind of blue, but it's really maybe a little bit like that, but it's really a greenish gray. So I'll be starting Maya Angelou on this fabric sooner rather than later. I also picked up a couple of the called for flosses. Harvest Moon is the yellow in the flowers, and Pine is what was used for the green. I am going to modify the chart colors of the flowers, and I am going to add Hyacinth in place of one of the blues, and then I'm going to choose another purple to put in place of the red. So my flowers will be purple and yellow, and the greenery will be pine. Sorry. So that will be what my color palette will look like for my Maya Angelou once I get started stitching it. I still have to come up with the color for the words on the chart. They are all backstitched, so I am not for sure if I'm going to use what was called for or do a little variation on it because I'm changing the color palette. So while at Keepsakes, I got to visit with my friend Lynn Dorney, and she passed the stash of Home of a Needleworker. I am not exactly sure just when I'm going to get started on this, but I do want to stitch this. She finished it, and I love it. I loved watching her stitch on it, so I too will be stitching this. And then she found a Mill Hill chart with snowmen on it, and so she asked me, and I said yes please. So she passed that on to me. This was actually in the freebie box. So then Megan gave me a little gift, and it is these thread drops. She makes thread drops, and she sells them on Instagram. And then this was a one-of-a-kind color and cotton thread. So I'm actually considering using this for the lighter purple in Maya Angelou. I don't know if it's light enough to give good contrast between the hyacinth and that. It is a one-of-a-kind floss, and so it does not have a name on it. Then I received my Floss Frenzy from the Fat Quarter Shop. And again, they are starting their floss clubs in alphabetical order for this year. And the name of this chart, I actually had to look it up and did some research. So the name of the is Absinthe. And it actually was an alcohol derivative used back in the 1800s, I believe is what they said. But it has been banned because they said that it caused hallucinations. So there's your little history lesson on absinthe for today. I was really shocked because I had never heard of it before. So, and it is actually green like this color is. So the next color, look, I got so carried away talking about that, is Adobe, then Amber, Americana, Amethyst, and Angel Hair. So these are all Weeks Dye Works, and they all start with the letter A, which will be really good when I get my thread organization going, that they're doing it like this. I have a lot of threads already, so I need to get started doing the thread storage for my overdyed so that I can just slide these in as they come in alphabetical order. I also received, and I'm sorry for the crinkling, I did not take it out of the packaging. I received my Be Stitch Me Fabric of the Month, and this is for the neutrals. And the knit color is called Hot Cocoa. And that is what it looks like. It's similar to this. It's a little darker brown than what that is showing, but it's close. I received all of my fabric of the month. Well, no, 2 of them. Yeah, 2. My next fabric of the month club is Color and Cotton, and I receive a fat quarter of 28 count from them. I am going to be contacting her and switching this, but this is called Snowy Pine, and it is reading gray, but it is a very, very gray green. It actually has more green in it than what that is showing. It's very, very pretty. And then I had a wonderful friend send me a lovely gift. Oh, so she sent me, she uses these Little House pens, and so she thought that I might enjoy them also. She also, we both watched the Fat Quarter Shop, and Kimberly has been using this glue for glue basting pieces down before she sews them. And so my friend said, well, let's try this for ourselves and see if it works. It's called Precision Seam Align Gentle Hold Fabric Glue. Well, I guess it's not going to focus. Okay, well, It's a fabric glue. And so I will let you all know once I start using it what my thoughts are on it. Then she sent me this Lori Holt's Happiness is Scrappiness book, and I am all in. I have been watching this series on Lori Holt's channel, and I really like most of the blocks that have been put in here. And so my friend, we have been talking about it, and she just on a whim ordered the book and had it sent to me. So I really appreciate it. Kindness is unbelievable. So I'll be getting started on some of the blocks in this book. Again, I don't know that I'll be making the quilts, but I will be making a lot of the blocks. So I'll have to see how I'm going to be putting them together. I then found a chart, and it says, say you have, and it's called A Cross Stitcher's Confession. It is by With Thy Needle and Thread, and it's called, or you say you have, and this is the chart. Just fudge it and carry on. And I purchased it. I'm thinking that I might do it as a smalls exchange because of the frog. And I really only wanted the chart for the frog. The words are fine, but I really wanted that frog sitting on top of that needle. So that was my purchase for the week. So that was all of my haul and stitchy kindness and investments. And I am so appreciative of all of it. I hope you all are having a very great week. I will be putting in the video for the giveaway. I think I have been noticing that there are people that are changing the word giveaway into, I don't know what they're changing the word into. I can't recall what it is now, but I think I'm going to also stop calling it giveaway on my channel. I have not had any of the scams that have happened on my channel, nor do I want to have any. So please be sure when you are mentioning anything about a giveaway not to say giveaway or freebie or any of those words that bring trolls or bots to the channel. I would really appreciate it. I have a pretty mild week this week. I'm really looking forward to just not having a whole bunch of anything to do. And I'm hoping that the weather is like changing at least for a little while to where I can get some sunshine. I am in desperate need of some sunshine. If some of you Floridians could send some up here, I would appreciate it. Again, I will be linking Carolyn Zook's channel, C Zook Stitch, down below. If you have not had an opportunity to view her last week's video or this week's video, please take the time to do that. I would appreciate it. I'm sure she would also. We had a great Zoom Flosstube last week. So, well, I'm going to bid you adieu and hope that you have a great week. And I will see you next week. Bye. Hello, everyone. This is the YouTube random comment picker for the word anniversary. I have put the URL in the box. I am filtering by duplicate users, and based on the word anniversary, I have added the total And we are going to see how many comments there are. There are 23 unique comments. And so now I am going to go down and press start. Before I do that though, there's something else that I'm supposed to press on this thing, and now I forgot what it was. Anyway, okay. We're going to go ahead on and get the comments, and good luck, everyone. Mar F. Ski. Happy anniversary, keepsakes. As far as your 700 stitches per project and finish at 90-ish stitches, you finish the project, so you can't put the goal in. Yeah, we've had this debate over and over again. I think the norm is actually X number of stitches or a finish, whichever comes first. Yes, thank you so very much, Mar F. Ski. I agree, but I didn't say that when I made the board. So I would like to congratulate you on winning the JBW Designs Christmas Ornament Book and the Keepsakes bag. If you would please send me your mailing address. My email address is in the description box below. I would appreciate it, and I will get your gift out to you. Thank you so very much, everyone. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.